We're working? We're working. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I wanted to put together a quick video just to introduce myself, to say thank you, and to share a bit about my story and how I got here to writing this book. First off, thank you so much. When I went to post about my upcoming book launch, I was terrified. Being sexually assaulted is something that I haven't shared with most people in my life, and I felt that the time is now, and we'll get into that calling a little bit more in this video. I also want to say thank you for all of the love and support I've received. It's been overwhelming at times, but overwhelming in a positive way. I didn't expect for one post that my whole social media world would blow up the way it did. Thank you to the brave, beautiful people who have also shared their stories after sexual assault with me. It's your stories that help fuel me along in this journey. So a little bit about who I am and how I got here, which isn't always the easiest to tell, but here we go. When I was 20 years old, I was sexually assaulted by a man in my own apartment, in my own bed. And after being sexually assaulted, I found one of the hardest things for me was to build meaningful relationships with friends, relationships with family, dating relationships, you name it. I struggled. Whew, yeah. I think for me, if relationships are supposed to be built on trust and authenticity and vulnerability, after being sexually assaulted, I put on all of these masks, right? I'm hiding the pain. I'm going to work and coming home. For me, my trigger spot is the kitchen sink doing the dishes. Don't know why. We're still holding that with love and working through that. But I would go, and after a long, hard day's work, come home alone, because it's easier to be home alone, not knowing when you're going to be triggered, and start to do my dishes. And it didn't happen every time, but there are times where I would just lose it. And there would be this inner battle, this inner war of how ugly and disgusting and horrible I am because I had been sexually assaulted. And I would beat myself up, and then I'd fall to the floor crying. And it was just horrible. And for years this went on. And I didn't want to invite people into my life, because if I invited them into my life, into my real life, they might see that side of me. And if they saw that side of me, then I couldn't be that well-educated millennial that's traveled all over the world and has all these acronyms after her name. For years, I kept looking out to the media and looking out to see somebody like me, somebody who appeared to have it all together and lived this life of meaning, even though for me it was fake meaning and purpose, and to also just flat out lose their shit from being sexually assaulted. And the more I looked, I found her in a few places, but they were very few and far between. And with the Me Too movement, man, seeing all of those brave, beautiful, vulnerable people shouting Me Too was phenomenal. I couldn't even say Me Too at the time. I couldn't do it. But I was waiting to see somebody take that conversation further and to say Me Too, and this is what life looks like after that. And this little inner voice in me kept saying, Melissa, if you can't see her, you've got to be her. And I tried to run from it because I didn't want to be her. I didn't want to be the one that had to say to everybody that I'd been sexually assaulted and that I was struggling to build meaningful relationships after that. I wanted people to see that pretty Melissa that had it together. But that pretty Melissa wasn't all of me. A part of me, but not all of me. And as the years went by, that voice got louder and louder. Melissa, you've got to be her. You've got to share your story. And I couldn't hide from it anymore. And I knew that the time was now. I couldn't accept that we aren't talking about what does it mean to be a successful, educated woman and also be a victim of sexual assault. And what does it mean to have to work through those things on the daily? You know, what does that mean to build relationships with your coworkers or your friends, or family, dating relationships? I wasn't going to accept that I could say that this happened to me, but the conversation couldn't go any further. So, ladies, if you are struggling to build meaningful relationships after sexual assault, I want to hear from you. If you are that lady like me that would go home and fall on the kitchen floor crying because the pain was too much to bear and you didn't have the words to know how to express how you feel or how you felt, I want to hear from you. If 1 in 5 women have been sexually assaulted or abused in their lives, those are our sisters, our mothers, our grandmothers. Those are our colleagues. Those are the ladies riding the freaking city bus with us. And it's time we start opening that space to have these conversations about how do we heal and work towards healing after sexual assault. So if this sounds like you, please message me. Please share this with somebody that you think would benefit from my work. I just want to give you all a big virtual bear hug. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to do it. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions about my upcoming book launch, any questions about the work that I do in coaching women to move beyond a place of loneliness and isolation and into abundant relationships. I love you all. Thank you.